Let's see your head. Welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, Bill in the background, and of course we may see an occasional cat, and we'll also see a Stephanie. So we're gonna start with a longer seated practice this morning. This is a 60-minute class that will improve our flexibility as well as our strength. So let's find a comfortable seat, find those sits bones. Open up those collarbones, allow those hands to settle on top of your thighs. Gently close your eyes and just take these initial grounding breaths to allow you to energetically come into your space. To allow yourself to connect with that breath. To check in with the body. And to find that presence, that present moment again and again. So just taking a few more breaths here. Please take one more inhale. Let's let that go. We'll flutter our eyelids open and we'll start with Baddha Konasana. So drawing the soles of our feet together, you can always support underneath your knees with a brick or a bolster. And just hang on to your ankles or support yourself with your finger pads as you just gently allow those inner groins to open. And we'll begin to reach our chest forward. So if those elbows can come by your thighs, you can gently coax them to open a little further, but no straining. Most of us are just getting out of bed, so beginning to gently open up our body. A couple more breaths here. Maybe you can reach your chest a little further. And on an inhale, just draw your chest back. And we're going to spread our legs a little further. I'm on my heels. I'll support my hands behind. And we're just going to windshield wiper those feet to the right side of the mat. And you're going to turn and leaning over that right knee. You can bend those elbows. And on an inhale, you'll come back to center and we'll just windshield wiper those feet in the opposite direction. So I'm spinning towards that left knee. You can bend those elbows. And let's take that each side again. So windshield wipering our knees to the right, leaning over that right knee. Just reach your heart forward. We'll come back to center. And one more time, windshield wiping those knees to the left, taking that chest over the left knee. Beautiful, we'll come back to center. Now keeping that left knee where it is, just extend that right leg and we're going to face our chest over that right leg. Again, you'll come on the finger pads and just gently reach your chin towards your shin. So you're not really rounding. You're going to keep more of a tall spine. Let those shoulders relax. Flex that right foot as you just begin to reach, lengthen over that right leg. So a slower practice to start this morning. A few more breaths here. Let's take one more inhale. Complete that exhalation. You'll lift your chest back up. Take that left hand behind the left hip, and we'll just do a baby full body stretch opener. So I'm drawing my toes towards the floor, opening up my heart, reaching with that right hand. We'll just draw those sits bones back down. Good morning, Ringo. So let's take that right heel in, extend the left leg, and you'll spin, twist towards that left leg, flex the left foot, and again, just reaching your chin towards the shin, firing up those hamstrings, feeling a gentle stretch on the lower back. Soften that left knee. We unhinge our jaw. Beautiful. A few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. We'll let that go as we lift up our chest, right hand behind our right hip. As we take that smaller full body stretch, reach the left toes to the earth, open up that heart. We'll draw those sits bones back down. We'll come onto our hands and knees. So finding our way into our cat-cow, our hands underneath our shoulders, just bump your hips side to side. As we'll take a few cat-cows in this position, so bringing our chin towards our chest, press the hands and the feet into the earth. And on an inhale, we reach our heart forward, open up those collarbones, eyes high. Exhale, chin towards our chest, crown of the head towards the floor, lift that back body. And on your own breath count, just a few more here. Begin to lubricate that spine. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, chin towards our chest. So keep your knees where they are. We'll just find our way onto our forearms and we'll take cat-cow in this position. So those elbows are underneath your shoulders. Now we reach our heart forward, lift through those sits bones. On an exhale, bring your chin towards your chest, round that back body. Again, we're lubricating that spine. With our forearms on the ground, just opening up more of that middle back. Take a few more breaths here. Eyes high, lift through those sits bones. On an exhale, chin towards your chest, round that back body. One more here. We breathe in. Beautiful. Exhale, chin towards your chest. And then coming back to neutral, eyes at the top of your mat. Let's just come onto our belly. We'll extend our hands out in front. And we'll alternate lifting the right hand and left foot off the earth. So reach through the right hand, thumb up towards the sky, feel that stretch. And then we'll come to the other side. So the left thumb is reaching up towards the sky, straighten through the arm. Right toes are reaching towards the back of your mat. And one more each side. We breathe in, we lift the right hand, reach through the toes. Last side, the left hand lifts, extend through the right toes. So taking the hand and foot back to the earth. Now we'll take the right hand and right foot up. Reach the right hand behind, maybe to the ankle, top of the foot. So setting up for just warming up that lower back body. So that right toes are reaching up towards the sky. You're really breathing loudly this morning. Bill is working hard. Breathe in, take another inhale.
This is hard for me.
On an exhale, release the right leg and right hand to the floor. So last side. So same hand as leg. So start with the left hand is lifted, left leg is lifted. You take that left hand behind, find the ankle, warming up that body. Reach through the toes. Use the support of the right hand in the right foot. Take another couple breaths here. We'll let everything go. Just take the forehead to the floor. Full breath in, full breath out. And we'll walk our hands back towards our chest. Come onto your knees and we'll work our way into a child's pose. So opening up those knees, hips towards our heels. Extend those arms forward, find that gorgeous stretch, forehead to the floor. And taking a slight bend in those elbows, rocking the forehead side to side. Belly's nice and soft. 2 more breaths here. We'll take 1 more inhale. Let that go. As we transition onto our hands and knees, tuck those toes under, lift those sits bones into our first downward dog. So let's pedal out our feet. Just alternating, bending our knees, reaching those heels to the floor. We're opening up the arches of the feet. Connecting with that breath. Then reach both heels off the mat. We'll bend those knees slightly, shins parallel to the floor. Feel that gorgeous stretch, then lift through those sits bones, and we'll draw those heels to the mat. We'll take that 2 more times. So we lift those heels high, bend those knees, engage the core. Lift those sits bones as we begin to lengthen through those legs, heels down. Gorgeous. 1 more. Open up the arches, bend those knees, shins are parallel. Then we begin to expand our chest towards our thighs, lift through those sits bones, draw those heels to the ground. So taking that left foot in the center of your mat, the right leg lifts. We bend the knee, stack that right hip over the left, lengthen through that right leg, and we'll take that right foot outside the right hand, coming into our lizard pose. So straighten through that left leg, open up those collarbones, then we'll drop that left knee, untuck the toes, and we'll find that razor edge of the right foot. So stay on your hands, keep that tall spine. Can you open up those collarbones? So we'll tuck the left toes under, step that right leg back, beautiful, into our downward dog. Just pedal out your feet here. And then we'll take that right foot towards the center of the mat. The left leg lifts, we bend the knee, stack that left hip on top of the right. As we lengthen through that left leg, take a giant step outside that left hand into that lizard position. We're reaching through that right heel, lift the heart. Now we'll take that right knee to the earth, beautiful, untuck the toes, find that razor edge on that left foot. Steady breathing. 1 more breath here. We'll tuck those right toes under, set that left leg back, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So keeping your hands where they are, we'll walk our feet up towards the top of our mat. Keep your feet hips distance, slight bend in the knees. We'll hinge forward, find those opposite elbows. Lengthening the spine. Spread those toes wide. Shake out that head. And take a little more weight into the balls of the feet, opening up the backs of the legs. As we release our hands to the floor, now heel toe those feet together. We'll find that halfway lift. We open up our collarbones. Exhale, hinge forward to our Uttanasana, that forward fold. 3 more like that. We lift our heart, hands can rest on the shins. Soften the knees on the exhale as we let go. 2 more like that. We move with our breath. Inhale. Exhale, let go, release. 1 more. Breathe in. Good morning. So happy you're joining us. Exhale, crown of the head towards the floor. Now just unwind the spine, root those feet, stacking the bones, extend the arms up overhead, and we'll take that slight back bend. Greeting the day as we forward fold to our Uttanasana. Take your time. We'll find that halfway lift. Step that right leg back, right knee to the earth. Untuck the toes as we extend the arms up overhead. So let's cactus those hands. Feel those right toenails. Inhale, extend. We'll release the hands to the floor. The right toes tuck under, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So that right leg is going to step forward. Left knee to the earth, untuck the toes. We inhale. As we cactus those hands out to the side. Extend, release the hands to the floor. Left toes tuck under, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Now we'll inhale to our high plank. Pause here for a few breaths. Open up the collarbones. Engage those muscles. Lift that back body a little higher. And let's lift those sits bones back into our downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. 2 more like that. We inhale to our high plank. Engaging that core. Finding that strength in the arms. Lift that back body. Beautiful, we're breathing. Sits bones lift, downward dog. Last time we inhale to our high plank. This time we'll take those right toes just a couple of inches off the mat. Look straight ahead. Right toes down. We lift the left leg. Breathing here. Can you lift the right hand a couple inches off the mat? Last side. Left hand lifts. As we slowly find our way to low plank, a baby cobra or an upward dog, downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. So that right leg lifts. Step it forward into our high lunge and come all the way up. So we'll cactus those hands just like we did on the ground. Open up that heart, maybe take the eyes up towards the sky. We inhale, let's release the hands to the floor, finding your way to high plank to low plank. A cobra or up dog, we'll meet in downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our left leg lifts, step it forward into that high lunge. Offset those feet so you have that firm foundation. We rise with our inhale. Let's cactus those hands and open up that heart. Breathe in, extend the arms up overhead. Gorgeous. Hands release. Left leg back. Our vinyasa, high to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. Pause here for a breath or two as we gaze over that right shoulder. Back to center, take your gaze over that opposite shoulder. Back to center, roll over the toes into your downward dog. Steady breathing. Shake out that head. Take another full breath in. Let's let that go. Shift your eyes forward, deep bend in the knees and the hip creases. Step, maybe fly to the top. Halfway lift, forward fold, Uttanasana. Unroll the spine as we come all the way back to standing. Full inhale, a slight back bend, and forward fold, Uttanasana. Take your time, ride that breath. We find that halfway lift. With control, we step or jump those feet back. High to low plank, cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. The right leg lifts again. We step it forward into that high lunge. Steady breathing. Find that firm foundation. Now we'll take our arms to the right. So soften those shoulders. Bill's doing his jazz hands. Find the scissor action in the hips. Inhale back to center. And we'll find our way into warrior two. So settle into those hips, lower those shoulders. Let's reverse on the inhale. Beautiful. On an exhale, hands to the mat, your vinyasa. Right leg back, high to low plank. Cobra or up dog. Taking your time, downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Moving with our breath, that left leg lifts. We step it forward into that high lunge. Ride that breath all the way up. Scissor action in the hips. Keep those arms in line with your ears as we blossom open to the left. We do our jazz hands. On an inhale, beautiful. Extend those arms back up towards the sky as we blossom open in the other direction into our warrior two. Track that left knee over the left ankle. Soften the shoulders. Let's reverse the warrior on an inhalation. Fanning those ribs wide. On an exhale, hands to the mat. Left leg back. Take your time. Your vinyasa, high to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Steady breathing. Please take one more inhale here. We let it go completely. As we shift our eyes forward, deep bend in the knees and the hip creases. Step, hop, or fly to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Let's sit into that chair. We'll stay here for just a full beat in, a full beat out. Hands through heart center as we fold forward. Halfway lift. With control, step or jump those feet back, high to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Soft eye gaze. That right leg lifts. Step it forward into that crescent lunge. A full breath in. Again, we'll blossom open to the right. Scissor action in the hips. Soften those shoulders. Take those arms back up towards the sky as we open to the opposite direction into that warrior two position. So we'll reverse on the inhale. Those ribs fan wide. Back into warrior two. Now straighten that right leg for our triangle. So we extend, we lengthen, release that right hand, left arm up towards the sky. Now spread the fingers wide, gazing towards that upper thumb, or we shift our gaze towards that right foot. Finding that breath. After a few breaths, maybe you can extend that right hand a little closer to the floor, using a brick. 2 more breaths here. Lifting through those kneecaps. 1 more inhale. Complete that exhale. Inhale, use that breath to come all the way back into your warrior two. And we'll take that vinyasa. Hands to the mat, that right leg back. High to low plank. A cobra or up dog. Downward dog, soft eye gaze. Left leg lifts. We find that crescent lunge, that beautiful high lunge. Inhale, we rise. And we'll blossom to the left again. Can you sit a little deeper? Inhale, arms come up towards the sky as we blossom open into our warrior two. So track that left knee over the left ankle. Outer edge of the right foot is rooted. We reverse on an inhale. Back into our warrior two as we lengthen through that left leg and find our triangle. So reach, let go, right hand up towards the sky. So fan the fingers wide on that right hand. Soft eye gaze towards that thumb, or we shift our gaze towards the floor. Few more breaths here. So after a few breaths, maybe we can find a little deeper expression of this posture. Maybe taking that hand on a brick, or taking the fingers towards the outside or inside of that leg. 1 more breath here. Let's let that go. On an inhale, back into our warrior two. Nice work. Your vinyasa. Hands to the floor. That left leg back. High to low. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Soft eye gaze, steady breathing. Slow down that breath. Let's take another inhale here. Let that go completely. Keep your hands where they are. Just take those toes into the center plane. The right leg lifts back up towards the sky. Take that right knee to the right elbow. We'll take it across to the left, back to the right, and extend that right leg up towards the sky. We'll do that 2 more times. So right knee, right elbow, to the left, to the right. We lift. Last one, right knee, right elbow, take it to the left, right. Now lift that leg up towards the sky. Now we'll take that right knee to the left elbow as we kick that right foot out. Shift the weight into the right hand as we find our drunken triangle or falling star. I guess that's a prettier name. So lift up those hip points. I'm gazing towards that left hand, rooting that right hand, building strength. Another breath in. On an exhale, watch that left hand as it comes to the mat. We'll extend that right leg back up towards the sky, and then just shake that right leg as it comes all the way down to the mat into our downward dog. So before we change sides, just pedal out the feet. Spread the fingers wide as we draw those big toes together. On our inhale, the left leg lifts. We shift the weight forward, left knee towards the left elbow. We take it to the right, to the left, and extend through those left toes. 2 more like that. Move with your breath. Left knee, left elbow, to the right, to the left, and we lift. 1 more. Left knee, left elbow, to the right, left, lift. Now we take that left knee to the right elbow as we extend that left leg, shift the weight into that left hand, root through the feet, right hand up towards the sky, blossom open into that fallen star. Finding that breath. In and out through the nose, that equal inhalation and exhalation. Lift those hip points a little higher. We'll watch that right hand as it comes to the mat. The left leg extends 1 more time up towards the sky. Just shake that left leg down into your downward dog. Soft eye gaze, steady breathing. Just pedal out those feet. Please take 1 more breath in. We let that go. Shift your eyes forward, slight bend in the knees. We step, maybe hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. That deep forward fold. Slowly unwind the spine. Take your time. Lines of energy out through the fingertips as we bring our prayer to our heart center. So let's take our hands on our hips. We'll step that right leg back about 3 feet. The right foot's on a 45-degree angle. Our hands are on our hips. Or you can take your hands behind, reaching for those elbows. So we'll lift our heart up towards the sky, and we'll begin to lengthen over that left leg. So finding opposite elbows, wrist creases, finger pads. Now notice what's happening with the hips. I sometimes like to take a hand on top of my back body to keep those hips level. Can always take those hands towards the side, towards the floor. You're drawing that navel towards that left kneecap. Finding that breath. 2 more breaths here. Please take 1 more inhale. Let's let that go. If your hands are on the ground, take them back on your hips. Use that core to come all the way up to standing. And we'll step that right foot to the left. On the next breath, take that left foot behind you, about 3 feet. The left foot's on a 45-degree angle. I spin my hip points to the top of my mat. We find opposite elbows. You can take your hands in prayer. Lift the heart. On an exhale, soften that right knee as we reach that chin towards that left shin. So keeping that back body straight and level. Use the hands as support to the floor. So soften that right knee. Relax your face. Steady breathing. Please take one more breath here. We let that go. Take your hands back on your hips. Use that core to come all the way up, back to standing. Nice. Step that left foot to the right. And we're going to take that same posture, we'll just add on to it. So right leg comes back, we're in that 45-degree angle with the foot. Let's take our hands behind, finding those elbows. Those hip points come towards the front of the mat. We lift our heart as we descend, as we lower that chin towards that left shin. Soften that left knee. So an option here to come onto the ball of the right foot, you shift your weight into that left foot as you begin to elevate the right toes off the floor. So finding a balance. Doesn't matter how high that right leg goes. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. On an exhale, take the right toes back to the earth. Use that core to come all the way up. Beautiful. Step that right foot to the left. And you can shake out some extra energy. Starting with our hands on our hips, step that left foot 2.5, 3 feet behind you. Spin those hip points towards the front of the mat. We'll find those opposite elbows again. Lift your heart. On an exhale, your chin is reaching towards that right shin. Keep those hips level. Option to stay right here, or we soften that right knee as we come on the ball of the left foot. Really spread those right toes wide. As we shift the weight forward, begin to elevate those left toes off the mat. So again, it doesn't matter how high that left leg is going. Find that breath, focusing on one spot. Beautiful. 1 more inhale. On an exhale, take that left foot to the floor. Use that core to come all the way up to standing. Nice. Left foot to the right. Samastitihi. And let's just find our way into our squat. So we'll just step that left foot out. Our feet are a little wider than our hips. Hands at your heart center as you find that deep seated posture. Elbows on the inside of those knees. Stretching out that lower back. Softening those shoulders. And we'll just take our hands to the floor. Just straighten those legs. And again, we'll come back into Malasana, into our squat. So those knees are tracking over our toes, elbows on the inside. Try not to sit heavy, but use that core. Use your, coming from that core to maybe lift your heart a little greater. Again, we'll release the hands to the floor. We'll straighten through those legs. And let's take 1 more Malasana. So maybe you just come down a little bit, take your hands at your heart, see if you can hold that position. Steady breathing. 1 more inhale here. Complete the exhale, release the hands to the floor. Let's straighten those legs, heel toe those feet wide into that straddle position. Our toes turn in slightly. We'll take that left hand to the center of your mat as we extend that right hand up towards the sky. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe release that right hand a little further. And we'll lower that right hand to the mat. On an inhale, extend that left hand high. And we'll lower the hand down to the mat. 1 more each side. So moving with our breath, we inhale, sweep that energy clean. Right hand releases. Last side. Inhale, left hand up towards the sky. Lower that left hand to the floor. Keep your hands on the mat. We'll heel toe those feet a little closer, so just a little more than hips distance apart. We'll forward fold, interlace those hands, and take the hands behind your head. So some light traction to the back of the head and neck. So I'm just gently spinning my head side to side. Our toes are spread wide. Take the weight a little more into the balls of the feet. We fire up those hamstrings. And release the hands to the floor. Heel toe those feet together as we slowly unwind the spine. We'll come all the way up as we roll the shoulders up to our ears and back. Enjoying our breath, moving that stagnant energy from our sleep, opening up the inner body. And we'll change direction with those shoulder rolls. Nice, and spread your feet hips distance apart. Let's take another breath in. Inhale, reach that right hand towards your left thumb. Extend, slight bend in the knees, up and over. And we'll come back to center. We extend, reach that left hand to the right wrist, up and over. We'll release the hands alongside the body as we just twist that spine. Remembering a happy life is a happy spine. So we move it in several different directions. For 3, for 2, and 1. Just fan those fingers wide. Feel that sensation as we heel toe those feet together. So we did a version of dancer on the floor using that right hand and right foot together. So let's take a standing dancer. So with the right elbow outside the hip, reach for the inner arch of the foot. The left arm extends high. So hug those knees together, find that balance here. And then we start with the kicking action, right toes up towards the sky. So we've been warming up that back. The left hand, keep those fingers in line with your eyes. The dogs are helping this morning, all of you, lots of dogs. 2 more breaths here. Keep kicking and reaching. Use that inhale to come all the way up. Release that right leg. We'll take our hands at our heart center. And we'll take the dancer on the other side. When you're ready, left elbow, left hip, right hand up towards the sky as you reach for the inner ankle. Hug those knees in. So before you go anywhere, find the balance, look straight ahead. Can you lift that right hand a little higher? Feel that stretch under the armpit. Now begin kicking with the left toes. When you hit that resistance, you begin to extend that right hand forward. So that equal kicking and reaching. Eyes are steady. Keep those right fingers in line with your eyes. And slowly ride that breath all the way up. Samastitihi, hands at heart center. So we'll split those feet hips distance one more time. Release the hands alongside the body. So open up our head and neck, chin towards your chest. Right ear, right shoulder. Draw your chin back towards your chest. Left ear, left shoulder. And let's just keep that circle going. Open up the throat. Moving the head very slowly, right ear, right shoulder. And then find those circles. Noticing the different sounds.
A lot of them.
There's a lot of them. The shoulders relax. We're looking too much at our phones, our keyboards. So when you come back to center, let's just lift your head and we'll go to the other side. So left ear, left shoulder. Let's lift our left hand and take it on our right ear. We warmed up already, so maybe we can go just a little further. Release that right shoulder. We'll lower that left hand as we take our chin towards our chest. Right ear, right shoulder, and we'll lift that right hand on the left ear. Yeah, we have a butter sighting. We don't see Haley Grace very often.
This is rare.
It's a rare occasion here. So we'll lower that right hand and just keep the circle going with your head. We open up our throat and then keep a couple of revolutions here. I keep my eyes closed, but maybe you want to keep your eyes open here. Let's finish that last revolution as we'll lift up our head, heel toe those feet together, Samastitihi, hands at our heart center. So we'll find one more balanced posture this morning. So we'll find our traditional tree, right foot in the inner left thigh. We bring our hands to our heart center, open up those collarbones. Finding the sensation in the palms as you press against them. Right foot is pressing against that inner left thigh. Can you grow your tree a little higher? And extend the arms up overhead. Lift your chin, lift your eyes. We'll lower our hands to our heart center. Right foot to the floor. Last side, so left foot in the inner right thigh. Hands come to our heart center. Today is Pi Day, 3.14. Happy Pi Day.
Okay.
Open up those collarbones and reach your prayer up towards the ceiling. You can split those hands, eyes towards the sky. Maybe close your eyes for a breath or two. If you fall out, that's fine.
Right back in.
Lower the hands, that's right. Left foot to the floor. Let's wipe that slate clean. We take a full breath in. Let's melt forward, Uttanasana. We'll find that halfway lift. With control, step or jump those feet back. High to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Let's lift that right leg high, and we'll find our pigeon. Woo! Right knee, right thumb. Untuck the left toes. Let's walk our hands forward. Bend those elbows slightly, or take the forearms to the floor. You can allow that forehead to come to the back of your hands. And draw your shoulders away from your ears. So we have 60 seconds on this side. So just tracing that breath in and out through the nose. Lick your lips, swallow a few times. Can you feel the toenails on the left foot? Taking 5 more breaths here. Noticing the quality of your breath. Please take one more inhalation. We let that go. We lift our heart. Walk your hands back to center. Taking weight into that right hip, we'll find our way into double pigeon. So left knee on top of right. You always have that option for fire log. I'm gonna stick with double pigeon. So find those sits bones. You can always sit on a brick. I'll face you this way. And we'll take those arms up overhead. We'll take that deep bend in the right elbow. You can hang on to that elbow or maybe snake your hand behind, finding the finger pads, or use a strap. So just pause here. Can you feel those sits bones? We'll begin to reach your heart forward. Relax your face. So just find that resistance back up a little bit. So where are you noticing the sensations? Are you feeling it in the opposite hip, in that left hip? Maybe both hips. Please take one more breath in. We'll let that go. Inhale, come back to center, release that grip. We'll unwind those legs and we'll find our way into our boat pose. So support, hands underneath those knees, lift the heart, or extend those arms. Squeeze those knees together energetically, and maybe you take those legs a little high, those toes a little higher. Soften those shoulders, use that core for 3, 2, on 1, we cross our ankles, hands by our hips, we lift and cycle through vinyasa. Or just meet in downward dog. And taking your time, one movement with one breath. And from downward dog, we extend that left leg high. Take that left knee to your left thumb, finding our pigeon. Extend the right toes, untuck them. And then we'll walk those hands forward. Forehead to the back of your hands, or any modification. So take those shoulders away from your ears. Again, we're here for about a minute. Tracing that breath in and out gives that mind something to do. As we're coming closer to the end of class, we are thinking about our to-do list or what we need to do throughout the day. Keep your focus, keep that present moment. Building our concentration. We'll just come back again and again. So please take 3 more breaths here. Final full inhale. We let that go. As we lift our heart, walk those hands back towards that left knee. Weight into that left hip so we find that double pigeon or fire log. So my right knee on top of the left. Find those sits bones. And you can reach the arms up overhead. This time a deep bend in that left elbow. Keeping that supported, or take that right hand behind. You can hang onto your shirt. Draw those floating ribs back into the body. As we begin to reach our heart forward. Finding that breath. Two more breaths here. Last full inhale. Please let that go. We'll inhale, we'll lift, release the hands, and we'll just open up those legs into a straddle position. So flex those feet. We'll begin to walk those hands forward. So again, we find that resistance, pause and breathe. And after a few breaths, maybe finding a few more inches, centimeters. Allow those inner groins to soften. Relax your face. We'll walk our hands back to center. So we'll take the right hand now out towards the right toes. We'll lift the left hand up and over. You can take a bend in that right elbow. Feeling that gorgeous stretch. And then we'll just spin over that right leg, both hands to the floor. So kind of a modified posture of what we did at the beginning of class. So reaching your chin towards that right shin, that left hip point wants to come up, or sits point, I should say. So maybe encouraging that towards the earth. Navel is reaching towards that right knee. We'll come back to center, and we'll come to the other side. So the left hand towards the left toe, you can reach the right arm up and over. And then we'll take both hands outside that left leg, spin your chest towards that left kneecap, maybe bend those elbows. One more time, we'll just take our hands, walking them center. Maybe you find your forearms or use a brick. Feet are flexed. Nice, and we'll walk our hands towards the center of our body. Just take that left foot to the right. Come on to our back body, and we'll find a few bridges here this morning. So start by hugging those knees into your chest. Feet alongside one another. I like to find opposite elbows. Squeeze those knees in. Soften the shoulders. Face is soft, relaxed. And again, maybe just rock your head side to side here. As we take our feet flat on the floor, hips distance apart, we turn our palms up towards the sky. Root the feet as we lift our hip points. Maybe walking those shoulders under. Option to interlace those fingers. So keeping those knees no further than our hips distance apart. And we'll slowly unwind the spine. Allow those knees to kiss. Walk those feet out to the sides of your mat. Take your hands on your belly. And again, just rock your head side to side. Two more bridges, so we open up our knees, palms towards the ceiling, lift those hip points, firing up those glutes, our hamstrings. You can support your hands under your hips if you wish. Your toes are facing towards the top of the mat. Our tendency is our toes to open wide. So make sure your feet are parallel. Lift those hip points a little higher. We'll slowly unwind the spine. Now our knees kiss. Take those feet to the edges of the mat. Hands on your heart center. We'll rock our head side to side again. And last bridge, knees open wide, feet parallel. Let's lift up our hip points. I will support underneath my hips this time. Weight into that left foot. We'll just lift that right leg up towards the sky. Can open up the ankle. And maybe take that right ankle on the left thigh into a figure four, just for a breath or two. We'll extend that right leg one more time up towards the sky, lower it down, adjust those wrists as you need. Right foot is rooted, option to extend that left leg high. I'll open up the ankle, change direction, and take that left ankle on top of the right thigh, finding that figure four position. One last time, we lift that left leg high. Lower it down. Slowly unwind that spine as we open up our feet into Baddha Konasana, the position we started in this morning. Take your hands on your belly. Relax your face. Slowing down that breath. Just a few more finishing postures. We'll take our hands outside our knees, squeeze those knees back together.
We'll cactus our hands out to the side, back of the hands to the floor. Let's drop our knees to the right. So energetically keep those knees squeezing towards one another. Support up the knees with the brick if needed. And from here, I'll take my gaze over that left shoulder. My eyes are soft or closed. Feeling the breath in the body. Squeeze those knees together. We'll take them back to center. And then dropping them in the opposite direction. And after a few breaths, maybe take your gaze over that right shoulder. So squeeze those knees towards one another. Fire up that core. We'll take those knees back to center. Last posture this morning, we'll find our happy baby. So reach for the inner arches of your feet. Those knees are reaching towards the earth. Relax your face. Allowing those inner groins to soften. And we'll reach that right heel out to the side. Finding that supported straddle as we extend the left heel out. You can take your hands on your ankles and draw the soles of your feet together. As we slowly take our time, extend your legs out, take up a lot of space on the mat. Full breath in. Let go of any control of your breath now as you enjoy Shavasana. Adding some movement to your fingers and toes. Let's find a beautiful stretch. Arms reach up overhead. And on an exhale, head those knees one more time back into your chest. Give yourself a morning hug. As we allow those knees to fall to either side of the mat. Curl up into that beautiful ball of light for a breath or two. And we'll find our way to a seated position. Our eyes are soft or closed. And ending with a quote this morning. Believe there is a great power silently working for all things good. Behave yourself and never mind the rest. Beatrix Potter. So inviting you to take your hands at your heart center, acknowledging your practice this morning. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within all of you. Make it a beautiful day. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. It's pie day. I think that means we need to eat some pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie. And we'll see you next